Aderyn was scrubbing the kitchen floor when she got the call. She was the youngest of her parents' children, the only one still living at home, the only one who hadn't received the call, and that meant the chores piled on. At least scrubbing the floor was better than scrubbing the privy. She didn't know what the strange tickling sensation in her right ear was. It itched deep down, farther than she could reach with her finger, so she rubbed the outside of her ear, pressing down hard. The itching just got worse. Just as she'd stopped caring about safety and was looking around for something long and thin, the itching faded, replaced by a throbbing hum like her pulse pounding in her temples. It didn't hurt, just made her feel like she'd run across town at her top speed without stopping. Aderyn sat back on her heels on the wet floor and tilted her head one way and then the other. The throbbing hum didn't change. Then her vision blurred like she'd been crying, making her blink rapidly to clear her eyes. It didn't work. Fear filled her. Maybe she was dying. This could be a stroke like what had killed old Gammer Ilani 3 months back. Except Aderyn was only 20, and wasn't that too young for a stroke? In the next moment, a crack like the snap of an invisible whip cut across the sound of Aderyn's frightened breathing. Her vision cleared until she could see better than ever before. Trails of mist that glowed silver twisted and tangled in front of her. Whatever they were, they didn't have substance, because Aderyn waved her hands at them and her fingers passed right through without disturbing the mist. The trails came into focus. Instead of mist, they were lines of bright silver light that formed letters floating half a foot in front of Aderyn's face. Greetings, fledgling. You have grown to an acceptable level of development and may now choose to advance your destiny. Accept the call. Y/in. Aderyn's breathing sped up. She'd been waiting for this moment for 5 years, long before she was old enough to receive the call. The letters Y and N stood out from the rest of the silver words, outlined in gold that flowed like liquid metal. Without hesitating, Aderyn touched the letter Y. As she did so, she remembered that she hadn't been able to touch the letters before, but the Y felt warm and moved slightly beneath her fingers. Instantly, the words vanished. New words blinked into existence. Welcome to Level 1. Aderyn waited impatiently for more. Most everyone believed the system chose your adventuring class based on the skills you'd learned as a young adult. But Aderyn's father, Dallin, said he didn't think that was true, because he'd studied books of magic when he was young, and the system had made him a swordsworn, a master of the blade, instead. Aderyn had decided not to try to guess what the system had in mind for her. She hoped it was something amazing. After what felt like an eternity, the message vanished. A few seconds later, more words filled her vision. Name, Aderyn. Class, Warmaster. Level 1. Skills, Bluff, 1. Climb, 1. Conversation, 1. Intimidate, 1. Sense truth, 1. Survival, 1. Swim, 1. Class skills, Assess, 1. Awareness, 1. Knowledge, Geography, 1. Spot, 1. It was a lot to take in, but Aderyn's attention focused on the second line. Warmaster. She'd never heard of that class, but it sounded important. It sounded like someone who was a powerful fighter. It might even be better than a swordsworn, though she would never say that to her father. She realized she was clutching the scrubbing brush so hard her hand hurt. She dropped the brush into the bucket with a splash and raced for the door, shouting, "Mother! Father! Guess what?" She found her mother Lizette in her workshop, carefully adding some smelly green liquid to a bottle, drop by drop. Aderyn came to a stop in the doorway as her mother raised her other hand. "Quiet, dear. This could explode if I add too much," Mother said without looking away from the bottle. "I'll be back," Aderyn said, and backed away quietly until she couldn't see into the room anymore. Then she hurried to find her father. Both her parents ought to be there for this announcement.